Hello and welcome to our 11:11 p.m. Eastern Time, although it's 11:22. We might be calling this the 11:22 Eastern Time, 11-minute meditation and one card pull. We're still in that portal to connect with the physical and the spiritual realm at a very thin layer. So I always like to ask how we are feeling based on this week's energy, today's energy. But before we go into that, for my YouTube watchers, I am Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck, your certified personal trainer, intuitive healer, and cosmic energy reader. So how are we doing today? I was just talking to Nick, sharing with Nick, we have a lot of energy that's coming in between all our planets. We have this amazing full moon that's coming in on Tuesday in Pisces energy. And as I just mentioned to Nick, it's going to bring a lot of changes into everyone's life. So now, depending on where Pisces actually sits in your chart, will determine on what area it's going to bring those changes in. From what I've read, it's positive changes, so something to look forward to. And then we also have Venus that just moved into Cancer energy. Cancer is a water sign, which is all about the family, the home, how we nurture ourselves, how we are nurturers, as so to speak, our mothers, the connection we have with our mothers. And that energy is going to impact 4 specific signs, and those signs are Pisces, Cancer, Libra, and Taurus. Everyone else, of course, will feel the energy, but those are the 4 signs that's going to actually benefit, quote unquote, it's going to bring you luck. So if you have Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, or Libra in your chart, in your moon, sun, or rising sign, know that that Venus energy is going to impact it. And then we also have, as of next Wednesday, September 9/9, we have Mars going retrograde. Mars is our angry planet, our frustration planet, our impatient planet, our short-tempered planet. So have we been feeling a little short-tempered lately? I know I have. I have been having to check my energy. So, Nick, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 means you feel awesome. 1, you want to sort of crawl into bed, and from what you were sharing with me earlier, it's exactly what you did today. How are you feeling?
I'm about an 8.5. Somewhere between 8.5 and 9.
Now, were you an 8.5 because you rested today, or
Probably.
what were you like earlier in the day?
Probably. I actually don't think I was that low today. I got up and I felt good. I just was like, today feels like a day to rest. And I had really, like, weirdly good vibe dreams, too. And I'm not going to go into the dreams, but, like, I had like, dreams. I kind of just wanted to keep dreaming. That makes sense?
Yes. Now, were these dreams that you're having, were they during your nap, were they during your afternoon hours, or were they during the evening hours?
They were early afternoon, like literally noon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And once we get Linda's emotions going, I'll share some other piece of information that might be insightful for us to know. Linda, how are you feeling today?
I'm an 8.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. So this additional piece of information that might be insightful. Should you be waking up between the hours of 2, 3, or 4 a.m., there is this thing called the spiritual classroom that takes place at that time, 2, 3, or 4 a.m., and any time in between that. So it could be like 2:11, 2:30, 3:30, whatever have you. But from what I'm reading about it is that there are actual spiritual wisdom being downloaded into our crown chakra that's actually waking us up. And what I'm asking that you do is when you do wake up at whatever time it is, take note of what time it is. Like for me this morning, I happened to wake up and it was first when I looked at the clock was 4:43, but then when I looked at the clock again, it was 4:44. And in numerology and also in the angel numbers, 444 basically means you're exactly where you need to be. So take note of if you are waking up at that time, even if it means you're getting up to go to the bathroom. because that's usually because there's something that's being downloaded, some sort of spiritual message, which obviously you won't know what the message is until a little later on, whether you know it or not. It's not really relevant, but it's the fact that at that time, there's many, many people being woken at that time, and they're classifying it as the spiritual classroom. Just an FYI. So let's see what we need to focus in on for today, what chakra needs our attention, what affirmation we can play with, and what number is going to provide a hidden message. And there goes our card. If you guys can only see this, the card flew out and it did not land on a table. I have a stack of boxes that's holding my phone up, and it's literally in between the boxes. So it's mid-air. It's mid-air. I wish I can take a picture of this. It's literally mid-air. Didn't touch the table. It's just mid-air. Let's see what's got for us, since it doesn't want to touch the table. I'm almost don't want to touch it. Intuition. Intuition. And when we think about all the astrological signs that there are, which there's 12 of them, and the full moon we have coming in on Tuesday, talk about intuition. Our Pisces energy, which is a water sign, is actually one of the most intuitive signs there are out of the 12 signs. So if you do happen to have Pisces in your chart, anywhere, doesn't matter what house it's in, that's where the intuition can very well play a role. Now, obviously, if it's in your sun, rising, or moon sign, then your intuition is even going to be more heightened based on that energy. And I know for myself, obviously, I have Pisces in my sun sign. So theoretically, something that I always thought, which I was wrong about, I always thought that the energy that we have as our sun energy is the energy that we present to the world. Where theoretically, our sun energy is what we're actually here to learn about. So for Nick, your sun energy is Gemini, correct? And Linda, your sun energy is Taurus?
I believe it's Cancer.
Your sun energy? What's your month that you're born in?
May 19th, May.
Oh, that you're Taurus.
I am Taurus.
Yes. So that's your sun energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So you're probably either your rising or your moon sign is Cancer. Yes. So to jump from one topic to the other, because I often do that, you'll benefit from that the Venus energy going into Cancer energy, because it's sitting right into your energy. So you're going to benefit from that. But anyway, when we think about our sun sign, that's actually what we are, the energy behind that sun energy is what we are actually here to learn about ourselves in this lifetime. It's very similar to the North Node energy. It's what we're here to, what we're basically here to become and venture into. Our rising sign is the energy that we present to the world. So when you walk into a room, they're actually seeing your rising sign energy, not your sun sign. Make sense? So let's talk about intuition. How are we using our intuition? Do you use your intuition? Do you trust your intuition? Or do you basically sort of just shove it off and say, that's nothing? Or do you sit back and say, wow, if I only would have listened to my gut intuition at the time, X, Y, and Z would have happened? And if you have that experience where you don't listen to your gut intuition and you sit back and say you really wish you should have, or you would have? Yes. Now, in order to utilize the intuition, it is really important to be grounded in order to use intuition, because our intuition is almost like the gateway to our spirit guides, where we get to connect. And we get so many different signs in regards to when our intuition is actually working. So being grounded is really, really, really important when we want to really connect into the intuition. Your numbers here are 2 and 4. And that 2 energy comes in that alignment to the physical and the spiritual connection that we do have with our intuition. Like, we don't have to walk around asking all our friends about something that we want an answer to. All we really need to do is check in on our intuition and say, does this really resonate with me at this time? And then listen to your intuition, to what your intuition guides you to do. That 4 energy is really about building the foundation with your intuition and working on your intuition. And how one can work on their intuition is really, I forget the term for it, where you'll take certain things and put them in the bag, and I'm going to use the word psychically. You psychically name what that thing is before you pull it out of the bag. And that's how you really work with your intuition. And you practice every day. Like, let's say, as Nick and I were talking about playing cards before, where you take the playing cards, you shuffle them up, and before you lay the card out, you'll say, this one's a 2 of spades, and you flip it over and see if it's a 2 of spades, because you start to pick up the energies of that. So really developing a foundation around the connection between your intuition and yourself. Any questions on that? And when we do work with our intuition, it helps us to heal, because we can again go right into the gut and ask ourselves the deep questions that we might be asking everybody else to gain answers. So it is a great way to work on healing your mind, body, and spirit. So with that being said, I'd like to invite you to place your feet on the floor, find a comfortable position to sit in, and let's see what our intuition guides us to do. Just begin to close your eyes. Just take a nice deep breath in. And just exhale that breath, and as you exhale the breath, just let go of anything that is not serving you right now. And take another deep breath in. And as you exhale this breath, I'd like you to bring your breath down to your feet. And when the breath reaches your feet, I'd like you to wiggle your toes, 1 toe at a time if you can. Feeling the energy coming into your feet, feeling connected to the ground. And as you feel the energy connected to the ground, I'd like you to visualize this energy as a golden light. Then visualize that golden light dropping down through the foundation of the home you're in, dropping through the concrete, and then dropping 12 feet below you, connecting into Mother Earth. And as your golden light connects to Mother Earth, you'll begin to visualize this beautiful clear quartz that she holds, which is as huge as the entire world. And then just sense, touch, and feel this energy flowing back up your legs, from your ankles, into your calves and shins, into your knees, on up into your thighs, then to your hips. And now feel this energy circling around your root chakra. As it circles around your root chakra, begin to see this red light, red ball of light. It could be dull, it could be bright, it could be big, it can be small. And just visualize this energy of your golden light charging your root chakra, where you begin to focus more deeply onto this golden light. And just visualize that beautiful red ball of light expanding. Or you can almost imagine the entire floor being the color red. Then just slowly follow that golden light up into your sacral, on into your solar plexus, on into your heart, on up into your throat, into your third eye. And then feel, sense, and touch this golden light as it connects 1 inch above your head into your crown chakra. Visualize the portal opening. As the portal opens, visualize this golden light shining up. And you can feel this energy expanding 6 feet above you. And as it does, you begin to feel this connection with your higher self. And as you're in this connection with your higher self, just begin to visualize your solar plexus, where your gut intuition actually sits. So here you have this major connection with the higher self, your gut intuition, and Mother Earth. And as you are in the gut intuition, just visualize this expansion of yellow light, opening and closing, getting brighter, getting lighter, helping you to move more deeply into your intuition. Perhaps in the space, you may even begin to assign some sort of image or feeling to your gut to know when your intuition is actually working. Some might actually call this butterflies. Whereas when we get a little nervous, we get butterflies. And when something does not feel right, intuitively speaking, you may find your belly getting crampy, uncomfortable. I always usually like to say that when the intuition is providing positive insight for us to do something, it will show up as butterflies of excitement. When your intuition is telling you not to do something, your body may actually begin to get tense. You may find you getting tense from the lower back, or your legs, your knees, your fingers, your shoulders, your jaws. Become aware of what your body actually does when your body is guiding you through intuition. Just being in a space of connecting. The excitement of knowing you are working on your intuition. Knowing and asking yourself, is it safe to go to this place? And see what your body does. Do you get excited? Or do you feel a sense of tension? Just be in that space of your intuition. Developing a relationship with your intuition. And I invite you into space as you connect with the higher self, your intuition, and Mother Earth. Take this opportunity to start asking questions and just Be in your belly to see what your belly tells you as intuition. This is not about muscle testing. This is about connecting to the intuition. So take this time and ask yourself questions. Ask your higher self and see what your gut tells you. See how your body responds. And even become aware of how your throat chakra reacts when you're asking the questions. Our body is intuition in itself. When you ask the questions, do you stutter? Do you pause? Do you cough? Connecting with that intuition, developing the relationship between yourself, intuition, and your guidance. We all know what it feels like for that gut feeling. When you know without a doubt in your mind that it is the perfect timing. The same way when you know without a doubt in your mind, this is not the right time for that. Develop that relationship, develop that foundation around your intuition. And in this space, take a moment just to thank your higher self. And thank yourself for being open to connecting with your intuition. As you visualize that beautiful yellow light from your solar plexus, the gut intuition, slowly begin to see that yellow light changing into a clear quartz light to match the energy of the clear quartz that Mother Earth is holding. And then just bring that energy into the light that connects your higher self and Mother Earth. And visualize that white light all around you. And just take a deep breath here. And as you exhale the breath, just slowly physically feel your body coming back into your room. And as you physically feel your body back into your room, begin to feel your energy reconnecting emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And once again, just wiggling your toes, where you can feel your feet back on the floor. Wiggling your fingers, feeling the energy expanding throughout your entire body. Possibly pulling your shoulders back. Just take a breath and then open your eyes. Are we back with me? Linda, you back with us?
Yes. Uh-huh. I'm here.
Nice. So Linda, your emotions now, where are you?
I'm at 8.5.
Awesome. And Nick?
9.
Awesome. So Nick, for you, how was it to connect with your intuition, and did you?
Yeah, and I got lost, to be honest with you. So
Where'd you go?
it was sort of strange in that I don't know if I was in Florida or somewhere where there was alligators or crocodiles, because we had this conversation about my fear of animals that can attack humans. And so I was like looking at alligators and crocodiles, and I really got a sense of like trusting somebody, trusting myself with my intuition, trusting my fate with my intuition. Because I actually jumped into a lake that had that had alligators in it, but that of course they didn't attack me or anything. But so that was what I got out of it, was that it was like I feel comfortable now putting my fate, my intuition,
Nice.
the way that I wasn't before, and I don't think I realized how much I wasn't before.
Interesting. And when you get a chance to look up alligators and what's the other one, crocodiles?
Yeah.
The two animals, look them up as spirit animals and
Okay.
see what the energy is behind that. Because I have a feeling those two animals are your spirit animals.
Okay.
And that's why they showed up for you in regards to being able to trust your intuition and trusting that they won't attack you. So thank you for that. And Linda, how about for you?
It was good. I had dreams of traveling, and I think about how my intuition was good.
So you were able to connect with the intuition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, were you either one of you able to like if you had a chance to ask questions during the meditation, were either one of you able to connect with how your body was responding to the questions, whether it was something to do or not to do?
I felt like my questions were being answered before I can actually ask them. So I didn't need to ask them, strangely enough. But I got certain. I think at one point, again, I was zoning out, so I didn't really hear anything you said. But at one point, you were talking about butterflies in your stomach and cramps and stuff like that. And I was thinking of times where I've had that, and what it would have meant in times in which I think I felt them when I wasn't listening to my intuition, and I put myself in a position where if I had gone with what my intuition said, I wouldn't have been there to feel the butterflies or feel the cramps, the anxiety that they lead to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got out of that. And
Yeah.
every time I had a question that I was going to ask, it was already answered.
And in regards to when I used the term butterflies and cramps, butterflies definitely in reference to a positive response to what the intuition is. Cramping, I'm not 100% sure because everybody would be different, but it would be a good, let's say a good indicator to find out like when you are in your intuition and you get that uneasy feeling about something, where if you actually listen to it and say, okay, this might not be a good thing to do right now. Where you're following the uneasiness and saying, okay, this isn't a good idea. And derailing yourself from whatever it is that you thought you were going to do and not do it because your intuition said, not a good idea. Also, what I tend to find when we work with an intuition, it's also recognizing how your throat, I'm going to use the word flutters, when we are looking to say something and connecting with the intuition, because the throat literally will flutter when your intuition's working, whether it's a good thing or not. But it's almost like someone stutters when when maybe the thing that they're looking to do isn't the right thing, so they'll stutter. And then when something is the right thing, it's like you just have this clear passage of speaking it. So these are just really great ways to connect intuitively, to know what your body is actually saying and doing, so you know your answers. And then being able to trust your intuition and say, like the expression would be, let's say you're at the railroad, at the train station, and all of a sudden you get your belly is like, that's your belly saying, maybe it's not a good thing to get on that train right now. So, and just listening to it, when all of a sudden out of nowhere, you either get a stomach ache, or you start coughing, or you feel like, okay, I need to run to the bathroom, where you really don't need to run to the bathroom, but that's like the feeling you get, is something derailing you from going based on your intuition and saying, not a good idea. So yes, so I thought this card was a very powerful card. Any questions on our card tonight? Any questions, Linda?
No, I'm good.
Excellent. So yeah, so that is our card for tonight. It's all about using our intuition to learn to heal from things that we need healing from. And when we do use our intuition wisely, it takes us to many, many places. It helps us on our journey to wherever the heck we're going. But it is important to stay grounded. Otherwise, when we're not grounded, we might be a little distracted and not paying attention to our intuition. And sometimes I know for myself, when my intuition's working, it's not so much about the belly talks, it's hearing, where your actual intuitions are your guides. Where all of a sudden you'll get this out of the ordinary voice of like, either don't do that, or get the hell out of there. And it's like, you look around like, someone talking to me? Just go. So be aware of how your intuition plays and what your body does for you when your intuition is working. And like I said, I can only give you experiences from my own personal experiences, but when my intuition's working, it's usually from my ears, and I get that little fluttering going on. And it's like, all right, think this is not a good idea. Let me get the hell out of here. Oh, wow, this is a perfect time for me to do this. Let me dive into it, and go there. You ever have a moment where either you're driving or walking and something tells you had no intentions of making a right turn, but something told you to make a right turn, and you had no intentions of doing that, but you did it anyway, and there was a reason why you did it? Anyone ever have that experience?
Yeah.
And whatever it was, the outcome was something positive, because it's like, okay, so that's your intuition that works for you. So always listen to the intuition. It's like the same expression where you're getting ready to leave the house in the morning and you have everything ready to go, and all of a sudden you're down at the door and you're like, shit, I left that upstairs, and you have to go back to get it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, it's your intuition saying, we need to derail you because there's something ahead of you that is dangerous for you, and we want to keep you out of harm's way.
I thought about that sometimes because we only have a few minutes left, but my uncle was supposed to be on the train, the Long Island Railroad train, where the gunman shot all those people 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And before he actually was supposed to get off at that stop. And before he got on the train, he realized he left something in the office. And he said, all right, I'll get it tomorrow. And it kept gnawing at him the whole walk to Penn Station. And then he just finally went back and got it. It's like, he called my aunt, so I'm getting on a later train. And then that happened. And I remember that story because I remember where I was when it happened, and my whole family, my parents were panicking. They called my aunt, they knew it was my uncle's train. And my aunt said, he missed the train. And he kept saying to me, he goes, at first I was like, I'll leave it there, I'll get it tomorrow. because it wasn't something, I think it was an umbrella or something, nothing important.
Yeah.
But it just kept gnawing at him.
Mhm.
And so, you know, that I remember hearing that story and thinking about, like, every time that's what you said happened to me, where I'm like, I don't have to go back. No, I'll go back. What was I getting away from? What was I staying from?
Exactly, and that's the intuition. And 90% of the time when you're being derailed to go back to get something, the thing you're going back to get is really not that important.
Right.
You know, it's not like your keys where you're gonna go back because it doesn't take a second thought. It's something silly that you're like, do I really need to? And then it gnaws at you to like go. And because that's your spirit, guys, protecting you from whatever is about to happen. So when we're not sitting there paying attention to it, that's where we get ourselves in trouble. So thanks for sharing that, Nick, because that's a perfect example of listening to your listening to the intuition, and preventing yourself from, you know, getting in harm's way. So perfect. So with all that being said, we will be back here tomorrow night at 11:11 for our 11-minute meditation and one card pull. All our YouTube viewers, please leave your comments. Let me know how this card worked with you. And feel free to leave comments and questions at healingwithin76@gmail.com. Have a great night, guys.
Right.
Good night.
Good night. Namaste.
Namaste.